I remember really well my first child going to school, and then I walked out through the schoolyard and I just caught the eye of this random mum, and she made the mistake of saying, "How did it go?" And next minute I am literally floods of tears. Term 1 of any year is a good time to stop and reflect. What did we say yes to last year? Was it too much? And with this beautiful weather, thinking about how can we just slow down a little bit for our kids.
Welcome to Parents We've Met, where we chat about the absolute joy of parenthood. And we also share in the hard stuff, the stuff that keeps us up at night and also adds to our grey hair count, which I've got a little bit going on over here at the moment. Today we have got a From the Coach's Couch episode, and we're talking about the fact it's a new year. We've got little 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds starting school for the first time. We've got our bigger kids going back to school. We've got maybe a little bit of back to school anxiety, and also something that's really big for our kids and school, friendships. So we're going to be talking about that as well.
It's a big welcome to you, Sheridan. We're so lucky to have you here with us. And it is a big year ahead when children are starting school. And, we get anxious for them. Will they make a friend? Will they keep a friend? Those are the sorts of things we'd love to know. How do we navigate this new season? Even for older kids, the thought of going back to school, and do they belong, and who'll play with them or who'll be with them? Will they be allowed into this group? Sheridan, do you remember what it was like when your children first started school, that first day?
Yes, it's funny because I'm right back there. So I remember really well my first child going to school, and you are managing your own anxiety, and that's really big for them. And I'll never forget, she'd gotten into class and I was really, really brave, and then I walked out through the schoolyard and I just caught the eye of this random mum in the community I just met, and she made the mistake of saying, "How did it go?" And next minute I am literally floods of tears. Like it was like I'd held it together, and then suddenly that moment. So I don't remember the other 3 that came after, but I've never forgotten that moment.
Yeah.
It's so big.
First day.
Yeah.
It is big.
Yeah. It's big for the kids and it's big for us. We have our own anxieties, and so do the kids.
Yeah, it's interesting too. It always brings up, when I was 5 and what was happening in my world. And so you do, parenting, it's your biggest invitation to heal and go back and look at your own life. So there's so much that comes up. I can't even remember things from last week, but I can remember being 4 and my mum playing school with me, and she would pack play lunch, she would have little activities I would do. She would have this old school bell, to signal it time for something. So cool. And I loved it. It was so much fun, but it started to get me ready for, there would be a time to sit and eat. There'd be a time that you would have a different activity, because you go from being a 4-year-old and being at kindy or daycare or at home with your caregiver and just doing whatever you want. And then all of a sudden it's like you've got to sit still, you've got to listen.
Yeah.
I mean, are there things that, that help with that lead up?
I love what your mum instinctively did. She was just modelling that beautiful transition into this new way of being. And I love the power of a rehearsal. So, if your little one is starting term 1, 2026, it's thinking about, can we, on a Saturday, go to the school? Can we walk in and find what room they'll be in? And just talk through, this is where you'll put your bag. The power of rehearsal, especially for young children, is amazing.
And they'll be doing that this week, actually. So you'll probably already have gone into the school. But you can still be doing all those things of that question of so where do you hang up your bag? Show me. Because it's sometimes funny things that kids can get caught up on. And I love having that chat of, how's it going? What are you finding? What's new? Because I remember talking to friends and their child didn't go to the toilet the first couple of days because they were unsure about the taps or how to lock the toilet door or, lunchbox, having a look. Why are they not eating that? They've not practiced undoing the containers.
Exactly.
There's so much to think about.
Those yogurt lids.
I know.
Yeah, we can give such a head start by the offering of something that's familiar, so they know all these things and they've practiced. So your mum was really onto it. We know that children love what's familiar, they love control, they love predictability. So those tours of the school and those practices at home are just spot on for our kids.
What about too creating rhythms? So the idea of maybe the drop off, like having something you do every time that helps, or picking up, like having a plan around pickup.
Yeah. I think those, the beginning of the day and the end of the day, are often tricky spots for young kids. Actually, funnily enough, I sat in a parenting talk that Jenny did many years ago where she talked about sort of leaving and receiving behaviour. And my youngest, when she started school, was quite apprehensive. And so Jenny had suggested we could have a little ritual. So we started doing a little bit of at the gate, I would just do our little signal, and she'd be this little 5-year-old, and she would just be so brave to go here. But it was amazing how just having this moment that we had, that we shared, really helped her just settle into the goodbye. So I really loved that advice, Jenny. It was spot on.
Yeah, so good. With my daughter, I will give her kisses in her hand, so when she needs them. And on days that maybe it's been a harder morning, I'll put an extra 5 in there. And it's amazing, like, we do it all the time. And even my boy, who's a little bit older, sometimes he'll be like, put a few in for me, Mum, you know.
I love it.
And then as we're walking away, she's like doing all these, and I've got to do it back. But it is cute, and it does help that continued same approach.
I kind of call it the bridge to separation. You know, like you're making a bridge to, it might even be we end saying, can't wait to give you your big cuddle at 3:05. So, yeah.
What about some of our older kids? You know, it's their first week back. They may be feeling a little bit anxious about getting back. What should we be thinking about for them?
Can we talk about teenagers?
Yeah, they're the older ones
Maybe
too.
a little bit of life for me. But, you know, with teenagers, we may have been really relaxed about bedtimes. They may be just staying up all hours. So it might be in the weeks and as they're starting back this week, thinking about, hey, guys, just a reminder, I know you've had such a great summer, but let's just agree on what the bedtime is going to be again. I think we just need to sort of restart that again, because it can get quite relaxed over the holidays. And we want it to. We want them to enjoy the holidays. So rhythms and routines, even for our teenagers, are so important.
I remember one of the things that shocked me with starting school was some of the behaviour after school. And I hadn't thought about, no one had said to me, hey, think about your little one, or any age. They've gone from the school holidays or not being at school to having to put their best foot forward. And then they get home to their safe place and it's like, meltdown, or just they've been carrying so much and it's just a time to unwind, to let loose. Tell me about that 3:05 meltdown.
Yeah. I used to be able to almost put a stopwatch for 3:05. The meltdown would come. You know, I think parents understanding what's happening, you know, what sits beneath the surface of the absolute meltdown when you just ask them to put their lunchbox on the table. You know, being curious about, you know, if behaviour is a form of communication, what might be sitting beneath the eruption is a really good place to start. The other thing I've heard quite a lot from parents of younger children is literally have the snack in the car, hand it over to them on the way home. So we are front-footing. Often our little ones are just so hungry. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I can get hangry, which is hungry and angry all in one. And it's the same for our kids. So can we front-foot that so they can get some good food in their belly?
We know that some children are really trying hard all day long to do the right thing, to follow the rules, to who are they going to play with. There's anxieties and little trials for them. And when they get home, it does kind of unravel. And it's helpful if parents can kind of understand that they're using a lot of energy, a lot of nervous energy up, and they're exhausted. By the time they get home. And sometimes even a good recommendation is to have a very simple kind of an afternoon, maybe not getting into too many after-school activities or too many flash projects as they just unwind and kind of find themselves again.
Yeah, I think that, you know, term 1 of any year is a good time to stop and reflect. What did we say yes to last year? Was it too much? Was term 4 too hectic? And with this beautiful weather, thinking about how can we just slow down a little bit for our kids.
Yeah, that was actually advice Jenny gave when my boy was starting school 3 years ago, and it was don't put the calendar, don't make it too chocker. And I took that on, and nothing for term 1, because I think our kids go to school and we want them to have every opportunity. You know, there's swimming, there's football. So actually allowing him to get to know his teacher, to make friendships, and not have to think about trying to be a part of groups and stuff was really good. So thanks for that advice, Jenny.
Good advice, Jenny, all around.
Yeah.
I think, true rest comes from play. So play often gets lost if we are over scheduling. So what does it look like to lean into some play?
I found too, actually staying at school and playing in the school playground for an extra 20 minutes was really good to get some energy out before getting in the car and going home. And if they're new to school, it's great with those little friendships, a little bit more of a play, getting to know the area. Another thing to think about is celebrating the first week back, for everyone being back at school, or for that little one starting school. I mean, the red plate is something we do at Parenting Place. That the red plate comes out to celebrate being brave, to make a bit of a fuss about your child. What else would you suggest?
To celebrate?
Yeah,
I think that, the bravery is a good thing, but maybe making a friend or saying hello to somebody. Some children struggle with those initial contacts, finding somebody's name, asking if they can join in. I think we can roll out the red plate for bravery, for courage, for friendliness, for a really good wave goodbye in the morning. Those are the things that
maybe salute.
A salute
Yes.
even can be one that we put on the list. But children love to have the gold called out.
Yeah, they do.
And we can do it for more than just academic things. We can do it for little steps that they're making.
It's something to look forward to as well. Saying Friday we're going to go out for ice creams after school. It's something if I've got something coming up where I'm like, a bit tense about, if I've got something nice after it, it's always good.
Yeah. We know that routines and rituals are such a great part of family life. My kids, at the end of every term, we get an ice cream, and suddenly that's morphed into end of exams, and they will try it on. But I love this idea of let's celebrate together. It's those moments that we often think back on with fondness.
Let's talk friendships, because I think that's a huge one, and you mentioned that earlier.
Friendships are huge, and some children seem to navigate and make friends really easily, and others find it hard.
Yeah.
And what are some of the things you'd encourage parents to do in coaching, Sheridan, regarding friendships?
Yeah, I love a good play date. It might even be, like you said, Dayna, just hanging around school at the end for a little bit. That gives us a really beautiful opportunity to watch our little one as they navigate relationships on the playground. But also, really kind of front-footing, hey, what's 2 questions you could ask one of the kids at school today? So you're starting to teach them some skills around, that beautiful serve and return. So we ask a question, then we listen. So we can do some beautiful coaching there with friendships, I think.
Not all children know some of the sort of normal things or the things we'd expect in friendships, like waiting your turn and sharing the role and a bit of give and take. So what would you say to a parent whose child doesn't seem to know how to behave in friendships?
Yeah. Really, this is, again, I love the opportunity with a play date that you might want to model what taking turns looks like, because often, especially with younger children, we talk a lot about you need to share your toys when Billy comes. And really, what does sharing mean if you don't really understand? So you can model, we're going to take turns with this now. Maybe it's going to be Billy's turn, and then you're going to get to have a turn. So I think, again, we can help model to them what it looks like. And we can do that at home where we're there, we can help them with it, and that hopefully translates to school as well.
I think kids, they're pretty good at telling each other, like, you watch the little ones.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll watch, and like little ones, they're in each other's face. It's like, and you'll see a kid push them back and go, get out of my space. So they're helping each
you're in
other
my bubble.
pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I suppose too, it's that conversation of maybe even what makes a good friend, and for them to actually be thinking about what they like in a friendship.
Yeah.
Kids are different too, just like us. Some of us have big groups. Some of us only need a couple of close friends. So I suppose it's kind of thinking about what your child needs as well.
Yeah, and I think often parents come with quite a bit of anxiety around it. It's one of those things that we see in coaching where we do genuinely want our kids to be social and to have good friendships. And I think just what you shared there, Dayna, is important to think about. Not every kid is going to have 20 close friends at school. Sometimes it's just a couple of friends, and that's absolutely fine. But it is encouraging them. How do we navigate these relationships?
So good. In our show notes, I'm going to put a few articles because we've got some great articles on these particular topics. Also, we've talked about the red plate, and you might be like, what is this red plate? So I'll put a little link. You can see what this red plate is. I grew up with the red plate in my home, and now I've got it. It's actually just behind you. You can point to it, Sheridan, and model it. There it is. You are a star, and it's got, we appreciate you, we honor you, we encourage you, we value you, we salute you. Is that on there too?
Yes.
Or maybe I'm just making that up. I just, because you saluted, I'm just adding that. Maybe our next
salute, but you could.
Yeah.
But it's just such a lovely thing, and it's been great in our family to model celebrating the parents or Nana when she comes around and she's done something really cool. So I love the idea of, celebrating our kids, but also them celebrating other people in the family. So it's a great tradition that we do. Love it. If you would like some coaching, maybe you've got a little one that's just started school, maybe your kid and their friendships, you're feeling a bit anxious. The coaches, they do a wonderful job of coming alongside, listening, giving you some tools and tips and coming up with a bit of a plan. So if you would like to find out more, head to parentingplace.nz.